University Challenge. Asking the questions, more Roger.
Hello and welcome to University Challenge. Tonight's match is another first-round fixture between one of the 17 member institutions of the University of London and one of the first wave of post-1992 universities. Whoever wins will automatically secure themselves a spot in round two, but the losers will need a high score to remain in with a chance of joining them. Birkbeck University began life as one of the mechanics institutes founded in the 1820s by Dr. George Birkbeck to provide continuing technical and scientific education for working tradespeople. The modern university remains uniquely geared towards working learners, with almost all of its teaching held in the evening. The social reformer Annie Besant, the broadcaster Laurie Taylor and the writer Samir El-Yusuf have all studied there. And it's the only one of the current members of the University of London to have won this competition before, back in 2003. Let's meet the team representing its 11,000 students tonight.
Hi, I'm Danny McMillan. I'm originally from Belfast and I'm studying for a PhD in modern Irish history.
Hello, I'm Olivia Mariner. I'm from London and I'm studying maths.
And their captain?
Hi, I'm Samir Chadha. I'm from Ealing in London and I'm studying creative and critical writing.
Hi, I'm Margarita Huntley. I'm from South London and I'm studying for a Masters in Law and Political Economy.
What is now Oxford Brookes University was first the Oxford School of Art, located in a single room in the city's Taylor Institution. After adding a School of Science, it became a technical school and then a polytechnic, before gaining university status through Ken Clarke's Further and Higher Education Act of 1992. Its alumni include the architect Yasmin Lari, the actor Adil Akhtar and the musician Burna Boy. And in just 5 appearances in this competition, it's reached the quarterfinals twice. Playing on behalf of around 17,000 students, let's meet this year's team from Oxford Brookes.
Hello, I'm David Caldecott from Henley-on-Thames and I'm studying biology.
Hi, I'm Lara Gardner. I'm from Ledbury in Herefordshire and I'm studying human biosciences.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm John Manton. I'm from County Tipperary in Ireland and I'm studying for a Masters in Fine Art.
Hello, I'm James Broadbent. I'm from near Wallingford in South Oxfordshire and I'm studying international relations and politics.
Let me remind you guys of the rules. Starter questions have to be answered on the buzzer without conferring. They're worth 10 points and a set of 3 bonus questions just for your team. Each bonus question is worth 5 points and you can and should confer on them. Fingers on the buzzers then. Here's your first starter for 10. Its name, meaning Hawk's Castle, a stronghold overlooking the River Aar northwest of Zurich, gives its name to which leading European royal house, whose members have included
Oxford Brookes Manton.
Hohenzollern?
No, and I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Whose members have included Frederick of the Empty Pockets, Maximilian the Last Knight, and Maria Theresa of Austria.
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Habsburg.
It is a Habsburg, correct. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, then, are on films whose titles include the surname of a British Prime Minister who was in office after 1945. For example, Charlie Wilson's War. In each case, name the film from the description. A 1999 horror film shot in documentary style with a plot that involves the disappearance of 3 students in a Maryland forest. It was followed by a sequel in 2000 and a reboot in 2016.
This is Blair Witch Project, right? Blair Witch Project.
Correct. Next, a 1955 adaptation of a John Steinbeck novel directed by Elia Kazan. James Dean was posthumously nominated for the Oscar in the Best Actor category.
East of Eden. East of Eden.
It is East of Eden. Then finally, a 1997 film directed by Quentin Tarantino based on a novel by Elmore Leonard. It starred Pam Grier in the title role.
Jackie Brown.
Yeah. Jackie Brown.
It was Jackie Brown. That was starter question then. In James Joyce's Stephen Hero, what Greek-derived word does Stephen define as a sudden spiritual manifestation, a moment of full apprehension?
Oxford Brookes Manton.
Epiphany.
It is Epiphany. And your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are 3 questions on the Biafran War from 1967 to 1970. What was the majority ethnic group of the secessionist Republic of Biafra? Large populations can also be found in Cameroon, Gabon and Equatorial Guinea.
Igbo?
It was Igbo, yeah, or Igbo. Second, known for its work in conflict zones, which prominent humanitarian NGO was established in Paris in 1971 as a result of the Biafran famine?
Médecins Sans Frontières.
MSF, quite right. Set during the Biafran War, which novel by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has a title that refers to the Biafran flag?
Half of a Yellow Sun.
That's correct. Another starter question. Both a national symbol and an object of reverence, what natural feature appears prominently in artworks with the English titles Fine Wind, Clear Weather and Rainstorm Beneath the Summit, and in the background of Water Wheel at Ondon and Great Wave off Kanagawa?
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Mount Fuji.
It is Mount Fuji. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, are on 20th century novels. Name each from the description. All 3 titles include a nationality. First, a 1955 novel set in Vietnam at the start of the US involvement in that country. The title figure is a naive CIA operative.
So it's The Quiet American.
Okay. Yeah. The Quiet American.
It was, of course, by Graham Greene. Second, a 1942 historical novel set in Cornwall during the reign of King Charles II.
Anyone got anything? 19 historical novels, 40s?
The only thing I came up with was Jamaica in Cornwall, but that's is that the right time?
We can give it a go.
Nationality, so
What is that?
May as well, yeah.
Jamaica in.
Jamaica Inn?
No, bad luck. It's Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier.
Wrong one.
And finally, a 1930 work in which a private detective becomes involved in the search for the titular artefact.
The Maltese Falcon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we good with that? Cool. Maltese Falcon.
That's correct, by Dashiell Hammett. Here's another starter question. The Guangxi area of China and the Yucatan Peninsula both exhibit what type of topography? Namely, a high barren terrain resulting from the effects of underground water on massive soluble limestone to create caves, sinkholes, and an absence of surface streams and lakes. It is named after such a region in Slovenia.
Birkbeck Cheddar.
Tundra?
No.
Oxford Brookes Gardner.
Cast?
It is cast, yes, well done. Your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are on stars. The winter hexagon is prominent in the northern sky and, when counted as containing 7 stars, includes which 2 stars, the brightest in the constellation Gemini? I want their common names, please, which refer to figures in Greek myth.
Oh.
I think
do you know
is one of them Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri? Common names in Greek mythology.
Castor and Pollux.
Castor and Pollux? Should we go for that? Should we go for that?
Castor and Pollux.
That's right. Sirius and Procyon are part of the winter hexagon and also form the winter triangle along with Betelgeuse, the second brightest star, in which constellation?
What's near Gemini? Should we go the zodiac sign? Should we go like Cancer or Taurus? Should we?
Okay. Taurus.
No, it's Orion. The Christmas tree cluster, named for its triangular shape, is in the constellation Mon Osseros, whose name denotes what legendary beast?
Unicorn, I think.
Unicorn.
It is a unicorn. Start the question then. I need 2 words here, not a name. In the early 1940s, having written songs such as Talking Hitler's Head Off Blues and Round and Round Hitler's Grave, the folk musician Woody Guthrie added a label to his guitar with the phrase, "This machine..."
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Kills fascists.
Correct, yes. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, are on sporting terms and their origins. From an Old Norse word meaning heap, what term is used in rugby union for a close gathering of players around the ball when it is on the ground?
That one's
Scrum, right? Yeah. Yeah.
No, hang on.
No.
On the ground.
On the ground?
Ruck.
Ruck, yeah. I don't know. It's a ruck?
You're right to correct yourself. It is ruck, yes. In cricket, what term derived from Hindi and Punjabi words meaning second or other denotes a leg break bowled with an apparent off-break action by a right-arm bowler?
Is that googly?
Is it?
That's...
It's plausible and I can't think of anything better. Anyone got anything better? No. Googly?
Very much not a googly, it's a doosra. Oh, God. In motor racing, what term for a sharp double bend on a track comes from a French word for subterfuge or trickery?
Chicane? That's it. Is that what that is?
I don't know.
It's like when it goes...
Yeah.
What's chicane? So, you going with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicane?
It is chicane, yes. Let's go to a picture starter then. And for your picture starter, you'll see an image of a flag. For 10 points, name the country it represents.
Oxford Brookes Broadbent.
Togo.
Correct. You've been watching a lot of football, haven't you? That was the flag of Togo, which features a lone star in the upper hoist side corner and a pattern of stripes. For your picture bonuses, you're going to see 3 more national flags that also feature stars and stripes. 5 points for each country you can name. First?
Oh, that's Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
Correct. Secondly?
This is Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
Correct. And finally?
Yeah, it's Malaysia.
Malaysia.
You know your flags, don't you? That's correct, yes. Another starter question. The score's level. In a series of films beginning in 1992, which horror character created by Clive Barker is depicted as the vengeful spirit of a lynched black artist? Nia DaCosta's 2021 film reframes him as a hive of murdered black souls.
Oxford Brookes Caldecott.
Candyman.
Yes, it is the Candyman, yeah. Your 3 questions, Oxford Brookes, are on an artist. In the 1790s, which Swiss-born artist produced around 40 paintings based on works by John Milton, including The Night Hag Visiting Lapland Witches and The Shepherd's Dream, which he exhibited in a dedicated Milton gallery on Pall Mall?
I don't know.
It's Fuseli.
Sorry?
Is it Fuseli?
It is Fuseli. Second, Fuseli's 1824 painting, Britomart delivering Amaretta from the enchantment of Bussyrain, depicts a scene from which incomplete English epic poem published in the 1590s?
The Highwayman? No, it's too early for that, isn't it?
I think it might be.
The
I'd certainly
Highwayman?
be Beowulf because that's way too.
Should we give the Highwayman?
The Highwayman?
No, it's the Fairy Queen. What title is usually given to the 1781 painting by Fuseli that depicts a sleeping woman stretched across a bed with a demon crouching on her chest and a horse's head visible in the shadows behind both?
The Nightmare?
Correct, it is the Nightmare, yeah. Another starter question. Originally meaning sage or expert, what name was applied in ancient Greece to professional teachers such as Protagoras and Hippias, who emphasised skill in rhetoric and argumentative technique, so that the word in question came to mean one who uses fallacious or specious reasoning?
Oxford Brookes Manton.
Sophist?
That is a sophist, yes, quite right. Your bonus questions then, Oxford Brookes, are on the Italian chef Giuseppe Cipriani. In 1931, Cipriani opened which Italian restaurant in Venice, naming it after a young American whom Cipriani served as a bartender. The restaurant was declared an Italian national landmark in 2001.
Harry's Bar?
Harry's Bar. Very pricey, I'm afraid. You won't be able to afford it on usual student finances. Which dish did Cipriani invent for the Countess Mocenigo on learning she had been advised to eat raw meat? It is named after a Venetian painter known for the use of red and white tones.
Carpaccio. Beef carpaccio?
It could very well be.
Because that's like almost raw, isn't it? What do you... Is it?
Carpaccio?
It is Carpaccio. Invented by Cipriani, which cocktail takes its name from the brothers who painted the 16th century work St. Mark Preaching in Alexandria? It combines peaches with sparkling wine.
Bellini.
That is a Bellini. You've obviously had a few, haven't you? Another starter question then. I need a 5-letter word here. What is the final word represented in the acronym SCOBY? That's S-C-O...
Birkbeck Huntley.
Yeast.
It is yeast, yes. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, are on Shakespeare's tragedies. In each case, name the play from the geographical coordinates of one of its main locations. First, which tragedy takes place at 45.4 degrees north, 11 degrees east? This is about 70 kilometres west of Padua and 200 kilometres north of Florence.
Italian tragedies. Tragedies? Well, I don't think... Othello's an island, isn't it? Could it be Romeo and Juliet?
It starts in Cyprus, I think.
Doesn't Cyprus... Could it be Romeo and Juliet?
It's not a bad shot, yeah.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet?
It is Romeo and Juliet, yeah, in Verona. Numerous scenes in which play take place at around 31.2 degrees north, 30 degrees east. That is about 1,100 kilometres south of Istanbul and 500 kilometres west of Jerusalem.
I think that'll be Othello now.
Because that's going to be North Africa.
Yeah. Oh, so...
Yeah, but it wouldn't be, no, because if it's a... That sounds like that's going to be like a Mediterranean island, so you reckon...
So
that's
Othello.
gonna be- Try it, yeah.
Yeah, anyone...
What was it?
I was near Cyprus and
No, actually,
Jerusalem,
no,
between Cyprus and...
because Othello is Venice, right? Because he's the ruler of Venice.
No, but it's
so
Cyprus, isn't it?
No, it starts.
Come on.
Could be Pericles.
OK, Pericles.
Bad luck. It's Antony and Cleopatra in Alexandria. Finally, which tragedy takes place at 56 degrees north, 12.5 degrees east, so 900 kilometres east of Berwick-upon-Tweed and 400 kilometres north of Berlin?
So
Hamlet.
yeah.
Hamlet.
It's Elsinore in Hamlet. Yeah, that's quite right. Another starter question then. In his 1992 book, The Relative Hills of Britain, what name did Alan Dawson give to any peak with a prominence of 150 metres, that's 492 feet, or higher? Dawson coined the name in relation to a Munro, a designation given to mountains...
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Graham.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. A designation given to mountains in Scotland higher than 3,000 feet.
Oxford Brookes Broadbent.
Fell.
No, it's Maryland's. Another starter question then. Measured in units of newtons per square metre, which eponymous physical property of a material...
Birkbeck Cheddar.
Oh, pressure.
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. Which eponymous physical property of a material describes the ability of that material to resist stretching and deformation in one direction. Named after a British polymath, it is given as the ratio of stress to strain.
Oxford Brookes Broadbent.
Hook.
Bad luck. It's Young's modulus after Thomas Young. Another starter question then. In his maiden speech in the House of Lords in 1812, Lord Byron opposed repressive legislation directed at which organisation of workers, named after a legendary weaver who had supposedly smashed...
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Luddites.
It is the Luddites, yeah, correct. Your bonus questions, Birkbeck, are on development economics. The phenomenon known as the resource curse, which describes a country rich in natural goods but which achieves worse economic performance than countries without such natural goods, is also known by what alliterative term?
Is there something trap, isn't it? Commodity... Is commodity curse?
Sounds fine. I don't know. Go for it, yeah.
Commodity curse?
No, it's the paradox of plenty. Next, popularised by Gordon Tullock and later by Anne Osborne Kruger, what term describes unproductive behaviour in extractive institutions that manipulate a country's resources for personal gain? Tullock's paradox described its low costs relative to its gains.
Is that just rent? Like rent-seeking. Rent-seeking, yeah, okay.
Rent-seeking behaviour?
It is rent-seeking, correct. Finally, according to a 2013 book by Jeff Colgan, countries with more than 10% of GDP coming from which specific natural resource were more likely to instigate international conflicts?
Oil, that's right. Oil. I think
No idea.
Oil.
Let's
try oil.
Correct. We'll have a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear a song from a musical. For 10 points, please give me the name of the musical.
That's me, I just keep them in stitches, doubled in half, and though I may be all wrong for the guy, I'm good for a laugh.
Birkbeck Cheddar.
Funny Girl?
It is Funny Girl, yeah. Well, that was an extract from the 1964 musical Funny Girl, based on the life of Fanny Bryce, who rose from obscurity to become a performer in the Ziegfeld Follies. Your bonuses are 3 more songs from biographical musicals. In each case, please give the title of the musical. Firstly...
The sawdust and the horses and the smell, the towel you've taken from the last hotel. There's no business like show business like no business I know.
Come on.
I've got no idea.
I know you're enjoying it, but hurry up.
42nd Street?
No, that's Annie. Get your gun. Secondly, this 1980 musical.
There is a sucker on every minute. Each time that sucker
Oh,
has
is this
reached the
P.T.
top
Barnum or something?
P.T.
No, but
What's the name of the musical?
The Greatest Showman.
Could be, yeah, try.
Could it be The Greatest Showman?
Yeah. I've got no idea.
The Greatest Showman?
You were right with Barnum, sorry. And finally...
I had to let it happen.
Is this
That's
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Evita.
That is Evita, about Evita Peron. Scores are level. Another starter question. What 5-letter word can mean all of the following? In electronic music and hip-hop, a sample taken from a portion of a drum solo that forms the rhythmic basis of the track. A commonly used command in computer science used to...
Oxford Brookes Manton.
Break.
It is a break, that's right, yeah. Your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are on scientific terms that begin with the same 4 letters. Give each word from the definition. First, an adjective that in mathematics denotes any number that has both a real and imaginary part.
Sorry?
Complex.
It is complex. Secondly, in computer science, a program that translates code from one programming language into another, usually from a high-level language into machine code.
Compiler.
It is compiler. Finally, in chemistry, a substance formed by chemical union of 2 or more distinct elements.
Compound.
It is compound. Let's start a question then. Answer as soon as your name is called, no hesitation please, and give me any 2 of the 3 countries located wholly outside Europe and North America that, during the 20th century, hosted the Summer Olympics.
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Australia and China.
No. Want to have a go?
Oxford Brookes Manton.
Australia and Japan.
It is Australia, Japan and South Korea, yeah. Your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are on female political leaders. On the 24th of October 1975, 90% of the women of which country went on strike? A day that is now known as Women's Day Off. 5 years later, this country became the first in the world to elect a female head of state.
So the
I think it's going to be
Scandinavian
Argentina.
Was it? It was like Denmark or something. Like Norway? No. What do you what?
No, I have a feeling it was Argentina because it was Isabel Perón who was, I
Okay,
think, was
should
the
we go
first
for that then?
president.
No?
She wasn't elected. No.
Oh, was she not?
Don't know.
Nominate Broadbent.
Isabel Perón?
It's the country I'm after, but that's wrong anyway. It's Iceland. The president elected was Vigdis Finnbogadottir. Benazir Bhutto was the first democratically elected woman to head a Muslim-majority country. What is the alliterative three-word name of the Social Democratic Party that she led?
Pakistan People's Party.
Correct. As Africa's first democratically elected female head of state, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf led which West African country through reconciliation and recovery from a decade-long civil war?
Liberia.
It was Liberia. Another starter question then. About half the size of Wales and on a similar latitude to the Isle of Harris, what is the second largest island of the USA? It gives its name to a large subspecies of brown bear.
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Kodiak Island?
It is Kodiak Island, yes. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, are 3 questions on government departments, often known by a 3-letter abbreviation. Which department was formed in 2001 as a merger of the Departments of Social Security and Employment? Another of its preceding ministries was the Ministry of National Insurance.
The DWP. Yeah. The Department of Work and Pensions.
It was, yeah. The DLUHC took its name in 2021. For what do the letters LU stand in this abbreviation?
Levelling up.
It's levelling up, yeah. Levelling up.
It is levelling up. Formed by a merger in 2020, for what government department or office do the letters FCDO stand?
It's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. Yeah. Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
That's exactly right. Well done. Let's go to a picture starter then. And for your picture starter, you'll see a film still. For 10 points, name the film.
Birkbeck Cheddar.
The Handmaiden.
It is The Handmaiden, yes, correct. Your picture starter was a still from the Korean film The Handmaiden, which won the 2018 BAFTA for Best Film Not in the English Language. For your picture bonuses, you're going to see 3 more films in non-European languages that have won this award. 5 points for each you can name. First?
Is that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah.
Did that
something
win?
could be. Yeah, could be. Yeah.
What do you think? Wait.
I think we've got any better.
Can't think of anything else. It might not be, but I can't think of anything
Try
else. Yeah.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Classic from 2001, yes.
Okay.
Second?
That's Ran.
That's Ran.
Yeah.
Ran.
Ran. R-A-N.
Okay, Ran.
Correct. And finally?
That's Parasite. Yeah. Parasite.
It's a fantastic film, isn't it? Yeah, correct. Another starter question there, 5 points in it. Founded by the diplomat Lionel Curtis in 1920, the Royal Institute of International Affairs is commonly referred to by the name of which
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Chatham House.
It is Chatham House, yeah. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, are on sun-setting empires. Which Asian island country's position, antipodal to Bolivia, meant that the sun never set on the Spanish Empire?
What was the question? Sorry,
Asian island, Philippines.
Antipodean to Bolivia. Sun never set Spanish.
maybe the Philippines.
Philippines, I think, could be, yeah.
Okay, try it. Yeah.
Philippines.
It is Philippines. Which present-day mainland South American country is antipodal to Indonesia, meaning that the sun never set on the Dutch Empire?
If it's Dutch, then Suriname. Suriname makes sense from
Netherlands. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Suriname.
It is Suriname. Finally, a fact that currently contributes to the sun never setting on the Commonwealth of Nations, the Antipodes of Gibraltar is located just off the coast of the Northland Peninsula in which country?
So where it's going to be.
Commonwealth. It's not going to be like India, is it?
Where was it? Antipodal to?
Gibraltar. South America, is it?
So is it going to have to be
Come on.
Australia?
Yeah, let's try New Zealand.
It is New Zealand. Just under 4 minutes to go, all to play for. In chemistry, what single-word term describes the formation of small, solid particles in a liquid during a chemical reaction? The same term also denotes the condensation of water in the atmosphere, for example, as snow, dew...
Oxford Brookes Gardner.
Precipitation.
It is precipitation. Your bonuses, Oxford Brookes, are on English words of Hungarian origin. In each case, identify the word from the information given. A member of a European light cavalry unit employed for scouting and modelled on a Hungarian light horse corps. The word also appears in the names of former cavalry regiments of the British Army.
Sorry, what?
Oh, yes.
Hussar?
It is hussar. A word originally referring to an enclosed horse-drawn carriage with 4 wheels, derived from the name of the town between Vienna and Budapest, where the carriage was first made. The word has now been generalised to several forms of transport.
Coach.
Correct. Finally, a spice made from the dried and ground fruits of the plant with the binomial Capsicum annuum.
Paprika.
It is paprika. 5 points in it. The Magnavox Odyssey, released in the United States in 1972, was the first commercially available example of what type of product?
Onto Brookes Broadbent.
Game console.
It is the home video game console, correct. 3 questions on an international award then for you, Oxford Brookes. Born in Kyiv, Marina Vyazovska in 2022 became only the second woman to receive what award, made every 4 years by the International Mathematical Union?
Fields Medal.
Go for it.
Fields Medal.
Correct. Second, Vyazovska solved the problem of the densest way to pack spheres in 8 dimensions. A simpler version of this problem, involving stacking cannonballs, is associated with which explorer, author and poet, executed by James VI and first in 1618?
What do you think?
Was it like Raleigh or Drake or someone like that?
Maybe.
I think it was Raleigh executed.
Yeah,
Was it Walter Raleigh?
I think it's Raleigh.
Raleigh?
Correct. The Oxford mathematician James Maynard also received the Fields Medal in 2022 for his work on the distribution of what class of numbers? He states that these are like the atoms for mathematicians.
Prime numbers.
It is prime numbers. No starter question then. What surname links all of the following? An American Civil War nurse and founder of the American Red Cross, the title character of a novel by Elizabeth Gaskell set in Manchester, and the alter ego of the superhero Hawkeye.
Birkbeck Macmillan.
Barton.
Correct. Your bonuses, Birkbeck, are 3 questions on a theme in literature. In 1962, selected works by which Spanish language author were published in English translation under the title Labyrinths? The collection included his stories The Garden of
Borges.
Correct. Second, first appearing in a novel of 1946, which fictional castle complex includes a vast network of passages known as the Stone Lanes, incrementally explored and mapped by the servant Mr.
Gormenghast.
Gormenghast is correct. Finally, William of Baskerville and Adso of Melk investigate a library arranged as a labyrinth looking for a hidden room called the Finis Africae, in which novel of 1980 by Umberto...
The Name of the Rose.
It is The Name of the Rose. Another starter question, 5 points in it. At the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards, which artist became the first to win Video of the Year for a video she directed herself? A 10-minute film accompanying the release of All Too...
Birkbeck Cheddar.
Taylor Swift.
It is Taylor Swift. Your bonus questions are on the Roman Republic. It's a quote. They are to evacuate the whole of Sicily and all the islands lying between Italy and Sicily. And at the gong, Oxford Brookes have 205 and Birkbeck have 220. Bad luck, guys. That is a fantastically impressive score. I bet you thought until the last minute you were going to win it, didn't you?
Just about.
Oh, my dear. Well, I don't think this is necessarily the last of you. There's a chance we may see you again, depending on how the others do. Birkbeck, well done. That was a wonderful late surge, and I think you owe your captain a very stiff drink. I hope you can join us next time for another first-round match, but until then, it's goodbye from Oxford Brookes.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It's goodbye from Birkbeck London.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.